advantage, disadvantage essay. So we shall always start with the introductory paragraph and
Paraphrasing.
right? Yeah, exactly. You will do the paraphrasing. So paraphrasing is basically if you can restate the words in the question words in your own ideas, in your own words. That's exactly paraphrasing. And then you just answer the question. What is answer the question? You answer, there will be always a question given to you. Discuss the advantages and disadvantages of X and Y, right? So what will you say? You will say, the given situation or the given problem or the given scenario has its, so let me mark this as given X. So whatever is given to you, given X has its pros and cons. Pros and cons, merits and demerits, benefits and
It's like
drawbacks.
outweigh.
No, this is not outweigh. I'll
No.
come to outweigh in a
Okay.
minute. So this
Okay.
is the straightforward advantage disadvantage.
Only advantage and
Exactly,
disadvantage.
exactly. Para 2 you will talk about only the advantages. So mostly you should talk only two advantages where you should explain both of them, and you need to give an example to at least one of them. So at least one example is there. Do not keep listing down a lot of advantages. Like I said, it is not a test of your GK that how much you know about a particular topic. No need to do that. But just write two advantages, explain both of them, and exemplify one of them. That should be enough. Coming to the next para, which is para number 3, here you should mention disadvantage.
Disadvantage.
Now, why I'm asking you to write at least two advantages is because of the fact the question will always ask you discuss the advantages and disadvantages. It will never say advantage and
Plural.
disadvantage, right? So since it is asking for plural, you have to talk at least two advantages and two disadvantages, right? If you mention only one, that may not justify the question, that may not fully answer the question given to you. And you're going to follow the similar structure that you did for the para 2. You explain the disadvantages, explain both of them and give example to one of them, right? And then finally you're going to write the para 4.
Conclusion.
Here you will conclude. So this will be your conclusion. And in case you want to give a little recommendation, you can do that as well. A little bit of recommendation if you feel it is necessary, right? Okay,
Like
this is
solution.
yeah, somewhat, if it is required, if you think it is required. Otherwise it is completely okay, and you can simply summarize your body para points in one word or two words, and that should be enough for your conclusion. Now this is one kind of essay, advantage disadvantage. Most of the time what you do get is an outweigh question. Now if I ask you what is an outweigh question, it simply means the question will ask you, do the advantages outweigh the disadvantages? This is the question. So this uh, kind of essay takes a slightly different approach, because the moment it is asking you a question, it is asking for your opinion. So your first paragraph is going to be your introductory para, where you will A, paraphrase the question statement of the question. Then you will say that yeah, the pros and cons are there, but you will also give your opinion. Your opinion must be clearly laid out over here, whether advantages are more or disadvantages are more. So you have to clearly mention, although there are positives and negatives of the given situation, however I feel, or although there are positives and negatives, comma, I feel the merits outnumber the drawbacks, right? So you have to clearly mention your opinion right in the first para also. Some people think that I'm going to say that there are advantages and there are disadvantages, and I'm going to give my conclusion in the end. But that may lose your marks because your thesis statement must also come in your first paragraph. Okay, then comes para number 2. And para number 2, para number 3 depend on your opinion. Obviously they depend on your opinion, because if you have taken the advantage side, if you think advantages are more, you are going to have a slightly disbalanced answer, an answer that is inclined more towards the advantage side. So here you are going to have advantages. Maybe you can have two advantages, right? Then you will have at least one example. Of course, the explanation is going to go into it also. You are going to have another para for advantages also. Advantages para, maybe one more example, one more advantage, right? Para number 4 is going to talk about disadvantages. So here you will talk about at least two disadvantages with one example. And para 5 is going to summarize everything as your conclusion plus your opinion. So you said in the beginning that advantages outnumber the drawbacks, and you clearly showed it in your answer as well, that the advantages are more and disadvantages are less. Let us reverse the scenario. If you feel that the disadvantages are more than the advantages, you're going to have one para for advantages and two paragraphs for disadvantages. So you yourself are going to deliberately disbalance the answer, and this kind of outweigh question is going to have 5 paragraphs essay, right? So this is how you write the outweigh question.